we're going to be talking a little bit more about marine debris, and we have the good fortune of having two fine actors with us, Allie Rice and Zach Taylor, and many others of you in the room as well. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the two of them to introduce you to the play Me and Debris.
Yes! Welcome all and gather round. It's time for our adventure to start. So, step right up and sit right down and get ready to play your part. Now, don't you fret and don't you frown. We'll have fun, I guarantee. For today's the day, we have some fun with the topic of marine debris. My name is Jerry Bardo Appam Nappet Sesquipedalian Cornelius Watershed Debris.
I'm Beck.
And we are your guides, your conductors, your chaperones, the docents of this caravan's excursion to enlightenment, and the captains with the hand on the rudder of your educational expedition. And your all-around pals. And as your pal, I guarantee by the time this jolly odyssey is over, we'll have been in the presence of true magic and wonder. Not wizards with the flick of the wrist and presto besto something happens movie kind of magic, but real magic. The kind of magic that built the pyramids, tended the gardens of Babylon, sent people to the moon, and thought about putting sprinkles on a chocolate vanilla ice cream cone. Okay. Now, as I said before, my name is Jerry Bardo Appam Nappet Sesquipedalian Cornelius Watershed Debris, and as you may well have guessed, not just anyone can walk around with a name like Jerry Bardo Appam Nappet Sesquipedalian Cornelius Watershed Debris. And what is a watershed? I'm glad you asked. Why? We're standing in one right now, and boy, is it a doozy!
Oh.
Put simply, it's that tract of terra firma that funnels the flow of rainfall and draws the thaw of melting snow down into the creeks, streams, and rivers of this land. And those multiple trickling tributaries must tip and jet and eventually empty their flow into the largest surface freshwater system on this earth, otherwise known as those 5 lakes that we say are so great. Watershed!
It's the land that channels all the rain and snow to the rivers and lakes.
Exactly.
Yes.
By the by, the basin of those Great Lakes is home to 40 million people, 94,000 square miles, 64 First Nations, 8 states, and 2 countries. Yeah, that's something to take pride in. The fact that we are wandering personages in the water basonages of the greatest lakes, that is. And pride makes you stand tall. And we stand tall because we are stewards. Every one of us, stewards of these magnificent runs and rills and ways of water. But I'm here to tell you we got problems. Problems with the proper repositification of debris of a mostly synthetic polymer nature.
Or
Our waste, our refuse, our litter, our rubbish, our scrap, our crap, our rubble, our trash, our daily detritus.
But Jerry Bardo Appam Nappet Sesquipedalian Cornelius Watershed Debris. I put my trash in bags.
Oh, and put those bags in a bag. And put that bag in a can.
Yeah.
That can on a truck. And the truck takes it far, far away. But that trash never really goes away. It just goes from here to over there. And every over there is someone else's here. Because everywhere is somewhere and nowhere is away.
Just let me.
Yeah. So we just move it around.
Like lima beans on your plate.
Beck, you have hit the nail on the nose of the bullseye. Lima beans. You can hide them in the mashed potatoes, give some to the dog, and smush the rest up with your fork. But they will always be there. And there's seconds and thirds and fourths and fifth hundreds. They'll never stop coming. Just like our waste. It'll never stop. So what do we do? Thanks for asking. Now, my fellow pilgrims of pondering, you perhaps may be contemplating the fact that there are pieces of litter everywhere. And just like when Mother Nature puts on her shower cap and steps into her lavender-scented bubble bath, all that bath water goes somewhere.
Bath water?
And as fun as that sidebar simile was, we still don't get that when the rainwater comes down, that rainwater washes it all away. All those candy wrappers and cigarette butts, those burger wrappers and plastic futts that make up all those bottles, caps, and bags, all that trash and debris gets whisked and washed down, 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 down to the storm drains and sewer grates, down to the creek beds and into the lakes, and just floats and jets and becomes what we call
Marine debris. Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius watershed debris. If there's a problem, just tell us what it is and how widespread. We need facts and statistics and lots more of these. We need experts and scientists and debris authorities, specialists in plastics and foam and aluminum cans. Above all, we need proven solutions and practical plans.
Why, hold on there, my friend and Fidus Achates. Hold your jets and cool your horses. Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius watershed debris has got you covered. You're right. We need some facts.
Yes.
Fortunately, I have fortuitously, and frankly even fashionably, arranged for information to be divulged by the foremost experts in the world.
Figuratively.
Yes, several figures, as a matter of fact. To be exact, a fish, a kayaker, a kid, and a crane.
Oh, Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius watershed debris. Are you saying those experts are in this room?
I do hereby verify the validity of that ventilated verbalization. Why, right there on the port side of your starboard bow is the kayaker themselves. And if you take one big step that way, and two little ones back the other way, and 3 or 4 random twists and turns, why, you'll end up face to face, or should I say face to fish, with the next great expert on our list. And if you follow that peculiar smell, bubblegum and gym shoes, do you know who you'll find?
The kid.
Oh, the crane.
Oh, sorry.
Now, let's...
The kid? That means the kid must be this young person right over here.
Yes, let's bring our experts up on stage.
Come on, line up with me.
No, a fish, a kayaker, a kid, and a crane. Yes, our big watershed welcome, to these our orators. As you can see, they've all prepared something to say. And while they're tuning their notes and prepping presentations, let's confab with our neighbors. Find someone or a group of sums that's behind you, beside you, or below. Say how's it to these inhabitants, salutations to these associates, and bonjour and buenos dias to new friends. Yep, it's time for a little trash talk. Now, within these new clusters of community, ask someone about the refuse they have noticed with some focus in their travels. And ask them about the biggest piece of rubbish, or the smallest pool of sewage, or maybe just the weirdest piece of waste they've ever seen. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. What's some weird
Did you
garbage
get that?
you guys have seen?
What are you supposed to be talking about? What's the weirdest piece of garbage you've ever seen in the world?
Particularly.
Where'd you see it?
What do you think?
Big or gross or what? A big sock on the side of the road. Oh, you did together. Oh, nice. A nice old wet sock. Yeah, that's pretty terrible. Anyone?
At least that's natural, right?
The sock, you were there for the sock incident?
Trash.
Ooh, you diaper. I guess they just needed to get rid of
A lot of
it.
animals.
Anyone else? Weird garbage?
All right, garbage, plastics, mattresses.
Couple of
What's
pants?
that?
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of those.
Cigarettes.
Shoe, one shoe? What happened to that schmo? That poor person without a shoe?
What else? Any good
I think,
stuff?
sure, yes. Oh, that poor guy.
Yeah?
Anyone else? Yeah?
Oh my goodness. You guys.
Just sitting there waiting for someone to drink it?
What do you think? What do you think? Garbage. Something that you put in the
Oh,
garbage
whoa.
can.
There's a lot of garbage on the ground in New York, for sure. I can only imagine.
Sprite bottle, absolutely.
Anyone else? Somebody in the last group said that they saw a
Raise your hand.
PS5 in the river. I know, right?
What's that? Styrofoam everywhere. Yes. Okay, let's gather our greatest hits of garbage. Who out there can share with us a little about litter you just learned? So raise your hand and tell us the best garbage highlight you just talked about. Anybody? Yeah? What do you got? An old sock. Ew, stinky.
A single sock and a single shoe.
And a single shoe. I wonder if they were related. Anyone else? Yes. Cigarette butts. Ugh, gross. Yeah. Cigars. Ew, even grosser. Okay, yeah, one more. A shoe to go with our sock. Well, now, who knew from so few we could learn such new news about refuse? Try saying that with a mouthful of peanut butter and pickles. And now it's time to hear what our experts have to say. Aha! Now, first, it's that finsy-friendly vertebrate, the fish. Blub, 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 blub. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning, and good afternoon. Thank you very much for asking for my point of view. As a fish, I've swum, and swam for 25 years in the water of this land, and 25 more I'd like to pursue if I keep on dodging a hook or two. I grant my perspective may differ from yours, but in these rivers and streams and along these shores, plastics are permanent. I'll say that to start. They never go away, they just break apart. Macro and micro, that's smaller than small. So many pieces on beaches you don't see them all. With rivers and lakes on their shores all around, we fish think they're food and just gobble them down. When fish eat plastics, red, green, yellow, and blue, and then you have fish sticks for dinner, now that's plastic in you. Even the medicines and makeups you wash down the drain seep into the water we live in and invade the food chain. And don't get me started on those nets that come free and move all around as marine debris. They travel over the water on the waves as they float. They don't catch any fish, just a passing boat. The ramifications are startling, no doubt that it's true. And if we want to stop it, that stop starts with you.
Yes! Flap your fins for our cold-blooded scale mate and our fantabulous fishy friend. Ghost nets in the water. Ooh. And microplastics without end. And by the by, if you do see a ghost net that's floating astray, mark the location and tell DNR right away. now the Department of Natural Resources. Now paddling their way to center stage is our charismatic kayaker, here to tell us how it looks out on the lake.
I've paddled and explored every inch of these shores and seen miles of debris that can't be ignored. Watershed rain, wash into lakes. When we picnic and play, for goodness sake, all kinds of debris now float in the water, and keeping it clean is getting harder and harder. Bottles of detergent we used to clean our clothes, foam coolers that blew out of boats, abandoned traps and crates on the shores and strewn, even a few silvery, deflated birthday balloons, margarine tubs and old yogurt cups, forks and spoons, and even cigarette butts. And the bags, oh, the bags that are there, the shores and trees, plastic bags everywhere. Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you sad, but if you love this island, you should be mad that we should be working harder. There's so much more work to be done. It's the kind of work that we need most everyone. There are people and groups working diligently, but this much work, it takes a community.
Yes, let's thank our recreational rafter for all that they've shared. And we can stop that debris from ever reaching the lake. The easiest way is just to use a rake. Rakes pulled behind tractors or even used by hand can help remove litter from all over the land. Whether beaches or uplands, ditches or roads, shorelines, playgrounds, parks or groves, anywhere's a good place to do your part. I encourage you to just make a start. Now, stilt stalking up to the stage is a crane from the marshes with something to say.
Salutations and regard from your winged, watery friends. I'm here to provide you with all the odds and ends about things you don't want and things you throw away, like plastic water bottles and masks from yesterday. I regret to inform you, well, all of us really, that those disposable things, really sincerely, can stick around for 20 years or more and cause great strife. 20 to 30 years. Why, that's all my life. They don't break down, they merely wait and they wait. Speaking for animals, plastic gets in our way. When we sleep, we play, we hunt, we eat. I've tangled and mangled my wings, feet, and beak. I know I'm an animal, and you're a person, that's true. But we all need clean water, no matter the who. Water is what we share with every living thing. Let's put our hands together, or hands in my wing, and let's promise each other we will look out for the other.
Flap your wings in applause! Or just toss them some frogs for everything they shared here today. And if you'd like to help out our cranes, there's a lot you can do by bagging up leaves and trash and even dog poo. Now, last but not least is the youngest kid in this place. And I'd really like to hear what they have to say.
Where do I start? No, really, where? With all this trash and these toxins, I am really scared. Not scared I'll eat it or drink it, though I'm scared of that too. But scared the problem's so big, what little kid to do? The world is covered in plastic, it's been found everywhere. With so much trash in the world, it's like nobody cares. I'm just one kid, what can I do?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel that way too. First of all, don't leave yet. Let me have this talk with you. First of all, plastic's not the enemy. It helps us every day. It helps make life better in lots of different ways. Here, have a seat. In medicine, manufacturing, home appliances, exploring space, the clothes we wear, the cars we drive, the glasses on our face. That plastic harms the environment. I certainly do agree. But plastic's not the enemy. It's being careless with its debris. That's why we all, right here and now, must have a big, long think about the lands we farm, the air we breathe, and the water that we drink. I tell you what, you remember a while back when we quarantined worldwide? Yes? School was on computer and we were all stuck inside.
That was amazing.
Well, way back then, because we were all locked in, Mother got a little chance to breathe. From Rome to LA, Beijing to old Pompeii, world pollution dropped significantly. I know the problems feel big, and the game feels rigged, and you feel much smaller than small. There are billions of tons, and you pick up just one. Feels like your health makes no difference at all. But that's far from the case. If our past you retrace, you'll find lots of changes we made. And behind every one, you'll find that they were done by people who would not be dismayed. Water pollution was so dire, Ohio's river caught fire.
Whoa!
Just try to imagine that. And a little while later, we cooperated on the National Clean Water Act. Up in the Yooper, they're doing something super with the Watershed Partnership and Land Conservancy. Dunes are covered with shrubs, water and air that's been scrubbed, and it's made only of locals, like you and me.
Why, the identification of a classification that to all polymers would apply, that's the little numbered triangles and various different angles on the bottoms of the plastics you buy, was a really great idea by a Wisconsin lady who made national and worldwide news. Millie Zanto helped create Wisconsin's recycling mandate to help us know which plastics to reuse. She spent hundreds of hours and dozens of showers studying her local landfills. She talked to business owners, politicians, and voters, and brought recycling plants to plants and mills. Waste is not waste until it is wasted. So use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without, as she would often say. Why, Millie changed her street, her state, and the world that way. And there are many more people like Millie all over these Great Lakes whose dedication and service keep them all looking great.
And we must pay honor where honor is due and acknowledge with thanks what First Nations contribute. The peoples who have been here for 10,000 years, stewards of the water, the land, and the life that is theirs. The Chippewa, Menominee, Ho-Chunk, and Potawatomi, the Oneida, and the Ojibwe. They fought the longest and worked the hardest, so clean and healthy this land will stay.
And now, you. You can be a part of these peoples and peoples who done so much for us and for this land. How?
How?
Well, we know that marine debris is out there. We just don't know exactly what or where.
By downloading an app on your phone, wherever you may be, you can keep us all aware.
With the Great Lakes Track and Act data app, you can chit-chat that stat of where that plastic vat is at so we can go and get it got.
We can make a difference. That's now plain to see, and that difference needs us, both you and me. Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius Watershed Debris. Can we have a nice round of applause for a kid who was brave enough to speak their concerns?
Yes! Now, each and every one of us, both local and afar, can do so much more every day by following the R's.
But Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius Watershed Debris, what are the R's?
I'm glad you asked, Beck. Yeah. But before I enunciate and articulate and expand the existence of our erudite let's have one more round of applause for our fish, our kayaker, our kid, and our crane. And now, back to the R's, matey. The R's are the not one.
Not two.
Nope. Not three, not four.
Not five, not six, not seven.
But eight R's of sustainability.
Oh, and to help us get to know these R's and what they are all about, we'll turn to our audience and stick them into some clumps.
Yes. So, you are rethink And you are refuse. And you're reduce. Uh-huh. And you are reuse. And you two are repurpose and repair. Refurbishings right here. And recycling's over there. So, you're going to get into groups with people around you, okay? And you're going to read what's on those cards together. And you're going to pick a representative on your group who's going to come up and read the bottom part. Now, every time I say your word, you're going to hold up your little sign. So let's practice. Rethink. Uh-huh. Repurpose. They're over there. Refurbish. Okay, good. What's yours? Reduce. Very good. And repurpose. When I say the word, hold up the sign. Very good,
They're
very
going to
good.
read this. Ask for a volunteer in your group. You guys got to figure it out. But this is what.
We need some
figure
people
out
over
what your
here,
topic is,
and we
right?
need you
Make sure
guys to
understand what
join
it
either
means
that
to
group or
reuse,
this
right?
group.
Who's in your group?
Yes.
You're right here?
Very good, very good.
You're going to say,
That
well, read
group or
this.
this
So you're
group.
recycle. You know what recycling is, but you're going to end up reading all of this stuff here.
And you guys know you're going to read the bottom part right
So
here.
you're going to go up and you're going to read it in the
You're-
microphone.
Oh, you're right here.
Well, you don't have to do it. You can
Okay,
get somebody
great.
else. You could just be the sign holder. So team, you have someone you got to figure it out though. Otherwise, you got to find someone else, okay? So first things first, every time someone says refuse, you're going to hold up the sign. So we need a sign holder. And then do you understand what the idea is behind refuse? Did you read this?
No.
It's saying no. What are you saying no to?
Plastic.
Like single-use plastics, right? Things that you're like, no, I don't want to fill up a landfill with that. You're going to read this part of it. You can also go, if you don't want just one person to go, you could go together, too. If that feels better. Okay, perfect. And every time we say recycle, you hold up the sign. All right? Yeah, you could do it with all the flair in the world, however you want. You guys got what you need to do? So every time someone says repair, you're going to hold the sign up. And then we're going to call you up at some point to read this second part here, okay?
Is this all this right here?
That whole chunk, yep. Ready? So there are two jobs. When we say
How's it going
repair,
over here? Feel good? You got
just
your
hold it up.
representative picked?
And the other job
Someone
is
who's
to
gonna
read that
read?
last paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, very
So
good.
somebody who's going to read that paragraph should probably read it through one time real quick here, right? So
There are hundreds of things I can fix on my own.
we're going to bring you up to the microphone to do this too.
Good over there?
I think
I've got
so.
all the support over here.
I guess.
I didn't have to do anything.
You guys feel good? So you know that every time someone says reuse, every time we say reuse, you hold up that sign, and then someone is going to come up when it's your turn to read that, and you have figured out who that is? Okay.
How are we doing? Getting close?
You guys read this top part, right? You understand the concept of reuse?
Okay.
Good. Nice. You're going to reuse that, right?
Good over here?
I think so, yeah. Let's do it.
I think that was long enough to practice your new rhymes. So, back to you to hear them all. We'll do them one group at a time. Recycle.
Hold the sign up.
You're first. Then reuse, repurpose, and repair. Then refurbish, reduce, and refuse, and rethink. You'll be the last, and refuse, and rethink. You'll be the last we hear. So without any more bandy hootin' or caterwauling, let's hear what they got to say. All right. So first is recycle.
Come on up.
Bum-ba-da-dum.
Right here, right here.
9. Only 9% of all plastic that has ever been created has been recycled. 9. What one has taught as the most important thing to do for our world is now our last resort. We produce 250 million tons of debris each year, and that's just the U.S. alone. Recycling can be confusing, costly, and ineffective. 2. Codes and ordinance can complete which items can be used. Some need prepping and separating from the non-recyclable plastics, and mixing materials with what's not on the list can contaminate. What is we may mix these with those from time to time, but we have to do our best. Recycling isn't ideal, but it's important nonetheless. So, know before you throw.
All right, very good. Next is reuse. Reuse, okay.
Come on up, come on. Just this part.
How is it packaged? How is it wrapped? Could I find another use for that? And before I buy something new today, do I already have something that may do? Can I save the day? I look around before getting something new, and I reuse the items I've already accrued.
Accrued?
Accrued.
Nice, yes.
Yes.
Very good. You hold on to that, we'll get it later, okay? You can
Oh.
just hold on to it, Uncle.
Okay, repurpose. Boop-a-da-doo. Woo!
Okay. Making new things from old things that are lying around, it's useful and fun. Here's some things that I've found. Chipped mugs can grow seedlings, old socks as dust rags, old sweaters into pillowcases, bed sheets into bags, plastic bottles that are big, like gallons and 2 liters, are perfect piggy banks for tied to trees for bird feeders. Containers that once held motor oil or dish soap with a cut here and there. Hold your nails in your bolts. Plastic caps become checkers, coasters from CDs, jewelry and art from any material you please. With my imagination, there's no end to what I could do. Why, with enough plastic bottles, I could build a canoe. There are hundreds of ways to decorate my home. If I repurpose what's there and leave the stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Repair. Repair. All right, way in the back.
That's fine. Let's do it together. We can all do it together.
Why? There are hundreds of things I can fix on my own. Just get a book from the library or watch a video on my phone. Sew the hole in my socks. Oil the wheel on the cart. I can't see it. The broken latch. Oh, you memorized it. Okay. Yeah, you're reading this. Let's go.
Yo, I can't.
Here we go. On the microwave just needs a new part. Repairing what I have keeps it in use. Throwing it away adds to refuse. Thank you, me. I did a great job.
Refurbish. All right, team refurbish.
You got this, right? Yeah.
We can get better at living with what we have. Look around. Find things that can be bettered and boosted, enhanced, and advanced. Resist merely scrapping, trashing, and throwing away. In our great haste to communicate, we create a slate of special materials and radical chemicals whose particles slowly degrade over hundreds of years. And that degradation, seeping through the Earth's foundation, leads to their saturation in the circulation of this our nation's next generation, H2O. So, slow down. We can get better at living with what we have.
Woo! Thank you.
Reduce! All right, Team Reduce.
Not yet, almost. Hi!
To reduce our waste, we can reduce our consumption and still have what we need. Not buying items that are used just once helps us a lot, we guarantee. Water bottles of plastic and napkins of paper are used once, and they're through. Like cases for cell phones, soaps and big bottles, and disposable coffee cups too. By reducing what we take, we reduce what we trash, and that's always a very good start. By reducing what we use just once or worse, don't use at all, we can all do our part. Brown.
Yeah! Refuse! All right, Team Refuse.
Saying no to what's not needed has a long and lasting effect. Saying paper please instead of plastic is an action that's quite direct. Even more direct and helpful when you shop with the family. When next they say, thanks very much, I've brought a bag with me. Eating lunch at the office with my spoon and fork from home. When a restaurant offers a doggy bag, I'll say no to takeout food. Saying no to little things, saying the things I can do without, saying no to all those little things makes big changes without a doubt.
Nice. And last but not least, rethink. Imagine feeling like that every day.
Do I need it? Must I have it? Will something else do? Changing my thinking is the best way to improve. Buy now, buy more. Quick, get to the store. It's a powerful message the commercials conveys. Rethink can help me avoid the craze.
As witness to this conglomeration of collaboration, I, Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius, Watershed Debris, hereby move we commendate our appreciativeness to these enlivening volunteers by repeatedly patting the palms of our paws.
Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian, Cornelius, Watershed Debris.
Back.
Yes, there are more R's out there. So many more that we could do.
Yeah, like regrow, regift, and reflect, just to name a few.
But regardless of how many R's that we add,
or W's, or T's, or Q's.
the responsibility always comes back to us. It's up to me and you. So now we know how we can help. Now we're free from ignorance. You and I, right here and now, can always make a difference. You are the difference. You're what our watershed needs. One who knows their actions have impacts on the land and inland seas. If it's to be, it's up to me.
That is the truest creed.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
Changing habits is how we lead.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
Is how we'll all succeed.
If it's to be, it's up to me.
That's what our watershed needs. Every bit makes it better, because lots of bitses is a bunch, and a bunch of bunches is tremendous when dealing with marine debris junk.
Every bit will make it better. A single drop? Not much, that's true. But if 1,000,000 drops makes a flood, think of what these changes might do. Think of the changes we can make when we rethink.
Rethink! Yes!
Rethink what we choose. Think of the difference we'll make when what we don't need we refuse. By reusing what we have and reducing to the minimum. Though there are little changes now, it makes a difference for years to come. So look to the person in front of you, beside you, and behind, and tell them one thing you heard today that you will always keep in mind.
Yes. What did you learn today? Talk amongst yourselves.
Any one thing? And you got your one little nugget of wisdom you came away
that's
with?
the thing. What is it? So you didn't learn it, did you?
One thing that you learned today?
What'd you learn about recycling?
You learned about recycling today? No, what did you learn today?
So what, like, give me an example
Reduce?
of something that we
Reuse?
could choose
Love
not
it,
to
love
do.
it, love all of
We
it,
could choose
yes.
to refuse. Plastic?
You learned his name is really long, but what is
Get a
it?
paper bag instead of a plastic bag. Yeah, nice.
What is it?
What about you guys? What did you take away from today?
Say no to plastic. Refuse. You come home with that lesson, right? Yeah? Got another?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
You learned that your foot
What
fell
about you
asleep?
guys,
To reuse water bottles. Love it, love it, love it.
Nice.
Anyone else got any
Any
other
big
nuggets of
takeaways
wisdom?
today?
Yes. That's good. She hides it well. Beautiful as a crane, of course.
That's right. Keep the water
Anyone
and the land
else?
clean
Any
for
other good things
ourselves
that you
and
learned?
Others.
No?
All right.
What? I didn't hear that.
Good. Let's share a few of those with the group. So raise your hands if you want to tell us something you learned today. Yeah. Reusable water bottles. Excellent. Yeah. The 8 R's. Very
Ooh,
good.
good.
Yeah, over here. Say no to plastic when you can. Plastic's not bad, but let's reduce it. One more. Yeah.
Nice,
They're
nice.
good.
one more over
right,
here.
right here. More than the 8 R's.
even
We can
more.
come up with our own R's. Now, I seem to remember telling you you'd see some magic here today. The kind of magic that built the pyramids, tended the gardens of Babylon, sent people to the moon, and thought of putting sprinkles on a chocolate vanilla ice cream cone. Well, people coming together to make things better. What is more truly magical than that? I'm Jerry Bardo, Appam Nappet, Sesquipedalian Cornelius Watershed Debris,
And I'm back.
and we'd like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you for all you've done
Are doing
and will do.
to keep this wonderful world wonder-filled.
Goodbye. Love your neighbor, care for the land, and be gentle with the waters.
I can take those, friends. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
I'll
Take
take your
that.
signs.
Yeah.